You know, when you're going to take on Wall Street and you're going to take on the drug companies and take on the insurance companies, before I decide that I want to run, I got to make sure that there is that grassroots support. And that's what we're ascertaining. If there is, I'll run. If there isn't, I won't.
That's Bernie Sanders, close to making a decision on 2020 and his run for president. The Vermont senator meeting with potential rival Senator Elizabeth Warren, the two reportedly agreeing that they are both likely to run for the Democratic nomination. Now let's bring in our panel. GOP strategist Ford O'Connell, who chairs the Civic Forum PAC, and Democratic strategist Mustafa Tameez, who is managing director of Outreach Strategists. Mustafa, I'll start with you. What do you think was the purpose of those two getting together, letting us know about their meeting? What message were they each trying to send?
Well, look, they're United States senators. They're two Democratic senators. They're both on the progressive side. They meet often. They're probably going to have a lot of policy initiatives that they're going to share. So they just want to keep their buzz out for themselves that they're out there. But the person to really watch is not going to be Congress next year. Is Beto O'Rourke from Texas, because Beto O'Rourke from Texas is an exciting candidate, and if he's on the ballot, there's trouble for Republicans because he can carry Texas, and with the 38 electoral votes from Texas, there's no path to the White House for any Republican, including President Trump.
So, Ford, what do you think? What do you think about that? I mean, you had these two other progressive candidates meeting together, and essentially, some saying we're both going to run, and neither of us is going to be bullied out of doing this. And then you have people saying that they are too progressive to get the party's nomination.
Well, more than 24 Democrats are reportedly eyeing a 2020 presidential run. The field is going to be large, and it's likely going to descend into a no-holds-barred mosh pit where they slam each other and President Trump at every turn. The one thing I can guarantee you, Melissa, is that Elizabeth Warren will not be the Democratic presidential nominee because, frankly, she's sinking in the polls. The progressive lane, as you just mentioned, with Beto O'Rourke, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, is getting pretty crowded. It's clear that Native American stunt she pulled has damaged her with progressives. Here's what I would say to Mustafa. Mustafa, the 2020 electoral map is going to look just like it did in 2016. The question for the Democratic ticket is, can it sweep the Midwest or take Florida or Arizona away from Trump? If they can do that, then they will win. If not, Trump will be reelected for another 4 years. It's really that simple.
So, Mustafa, I'll let you answer that. I mean, do you think Beto O'Rourke is the guy who could turn that map that he was just talking about?
Well, look, if Beto O'Rourke is the candidate on the ballot for Democrats, not only he can pick up California and parts of Midwest, but imagine if the 38 electoral votes that are locked for Republicans for so many years is no longer a lock. If Texas for play for Democrats, there is no math for Republicans.
But you already said that. Hang on.
Mustafa, he didn't win Texas.
Hang on. Mustafa, you didn't really answer his question about the rest of the map, though.
Well, look, he came in within 3 points in Texas of beating Ted Cruz. He raised $80 million his first run. So he's an exciting candidate that appeals to all of Americans, and I think that he would be an incredible.
But we have to. But he didn't win. He didn't win Texas, and the Democrats are not going to win Texas in 2020. The question is, can you take Florida out from underneath Trump, or can you sweep the Midwest? And what I'm talking about there is Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Look, if I were advising the Democrats, and Lord, I would not want to do that. What I would tell them is a ticket of Joe Biden and probably Beto O'Rourke would get that enthusiasm and that blue-collar white voter into your camp, and therefore you could possibly beat Donald Trump.
Mustafa, what do you think about that? That does sound like some good advice.
Look, it's not. At the end of the day, the reason why there's so many Democratic candidates likely to run is that President Trump is incredibly weak. If you look at his poll numbers, he's upside down in many of the states that we're talking about.
Just answer the question that Ford put to you. I mean, doesn't that sound like an appealing ticket if you had Biden together with Beto?
I think it's an appealing ticket, and there's a number of different appealing tickets. But the reason why they're so appealing tickets, the underlying fact is that President Trump is performing so poorly. I mean, look, just last 2018 election, Democrats won 40 House seats. That is the biggest loss that Republicans have suffered since the Nixon administration. President Trump's biggest problem is President Trump.
Okay, Ford, go ahead. You get the last word.
Bill Clinton lost 52 seats in the 1990s. Obama lost 63 in 2010. There's very little correlation between a midterm election and a presidential. And just so you know, since 1900, incumbent presidents are 15-5 in presidential re-elects. So guess what? Donald Trump is the favorite to win. The only question is whether or not Democrats can take those states away from that I mentioned, because 40 states are already decided, only 10 are up for grabs, and he is the favorite.
We will see, guys. I hope you both come back. Good discussion. Thank you.